Hello everyone, I'm Akshay Sinha and welcome back to the United Talk. Finally, the international break is over. We have our Premier League weekend, and on Sunday we'll be playing our first game after this fucking exhausting, idiotic international break. I was sick and tired of it. I was so frustrated. I had nothing to do. I was like literally furious that why we don't have any Premier League game right now. But finally, that break is over. Now we have Premier League game, and we have a very important game on Sunday against Newcastle United at St James Park, and we're going to talk about that because yesterday Erik held his press conference against that Newcastle game on Sunday, and it was one big of a joke of a press conference. I mean, I'm gonna say it out loud. It was a joke. The couple of questions were actually idiotic. You don't expect those kind of questions from those big journalists from ESPN or The Athletic. But what can you do about that? Like I said, this is a Manchester United fan channel. We're going to talk about everything that's probably if it's a rumor or it's just floating around Man United, or it's a leak from some credible or maybe a little bit credible source. But before we delve onto the real stuff, I'm gonna say this right, that we have some couple of good contract information regarding Luke Shaw. We're gonna talk about the injury stuff as well, and there was some very good questions from the press conference, and again I'm gonna say this again because please, it's really free, guys. Please do support the channel. Please do subscribe to the channel. Press the bell icon for more updates around Man United, and it would be really big sort of boost to my morale, because I've been trying to make videos about Man United, and just try and support the channel, please. I really beg of you, because it's not gonna take much of your time. I'm not even asking for your money or something like that. Don't do charity. Just click on the subscribe button, press the bell icon, etc. But again, it's a free world, but still I'm gonna ask you for that big favor for a brother from another mother. But anyways, moving on, let's talk about, because we have lots to talk about. So let's talk about the Manchester United press conference, Erik Ten Hag's press conference against Newcastle. So first we're going to start off with the Anthony Martial news, because this is quite promising. This is quite good news if you're a Anthony Martial fan. I'm a big Anthony Martial fan. Unfortunately, I've been saying this again and again in many of my videos, that Anthony Martial is just like a stripper hanging upside down a pole. Like sooner or later she's gonna fall down. It's just like Anthony Martial. There was some big news regarding Anthony Martial that Erik Ten Hag himself mentioned this, that he has been training, and he has been training for the past 2 weeks, even before the international break. And remember, he last played with for us in mid-February. So it's quite a long break for Anthony Martial, and now he was actually training with the team as well, and now he's feeling quite good about himself. Erik Ten Hag is feeling quite hopeful as long as Martial is concerned, and he himself said this, that he will be in the squad for Sunday game. So this kind of like gives me a vibe that he won't be in the starting 11, but at least he'll be in the squad, and I really want him to be in the squad, because with Anthony Martial we are a better team, because his hold-up play is great. His interlink with the Bruno Fernandes or with Rashford or with Sancho, like in the preseason, it was quite good. So we really need to see that again and again in and out of every single week. But again, it's Anthony Martial. Who knows when he's gonna fall again? But let's just hope that this stops now, and he has sort of developed some immunity against these sort of injuries. But let's just hope that, because we'll be having very important matches. Remember that we are the only football club who's still in the Europa League, who's still fighting for FA Cup, who's still in the top 4 race. So we really need to pick up on that, and we'll be needing another striker, because Weghorst is doing great. I like Weghorst, I like his attitude, I like him as a person also, but unfortunately he's not that sort of a striker with on whom you can rely. So we need somebody like Anthony Martial. In the future, we're going to sign somebody else, maybe a better striker, maybe better than Martial. And we have some news on that front also. We're going to talk about that later. But as long as Anthony Martial goes, I think this is a promising news that he'll be in the squad for Sunday game, and I think that's quite hopeful. Let's just hope that he stays fit for the rest of the season as well. And moving on, now there was another question. He was asked about the Rashford injury, whether he his knock was serious or something like that. But Erik ten Hag mentioned that there was nothing serious about it. He took some treatment while he was taking a vacation in New York, and we have a very interesting thing about New York. I'm going to talk about that later in the later part of the video, because those were the questions that really pissed me off from that press conference. I'll just get into that a little bit later. So he was asked about Marcus Rashford's injury, and he simply said that it's fine. There's nothing serious about him, and he had some individual training. He had one team training session yesterday also, so he's quite okay with that, and he believes he'll be ready for the Sunday game. And I think the form he's in and the way Erik ten Hag supports him and sort of like praises him, I think he'll be in the starting 11. I don't believe that Rashford will be on the bench. Because you remember, Rashford is the player who was playing for around like 12 to 14 months with a back injury, with a thigh injury last season. So I think he'll be playing for us. That knock is not that serious, because more of it was a mind game, just to make that Gareth Southgate, that asshole, just to leave Rashford out of that England squad. And he has been bad mouthing again about Rashford, that he's vacationing in New York and he's not taking England roll call seriously. And let me just ask that asshole one question: if he was that important, why did you pick Sterling over Rashford last time in the World Cup, when England was playing World Cup? How could you select Sterling over Rashford? I mean, you bloody sycophant. I mean, like, you're the fucking asshole. You had the nerve of picking Sterling over Rashford, and now you're bad mouthing about Rashford, that he's not being an ideal footballer, he's not being professional. Fuck off, Gareth Southgate. You'll never win anything. You have never won anything, and you will never win anything, because you've been playing the favourites. You can't even manage top Premier League squad. That's why you're managing fucking England's side. And anyways, let's move on. I really don't want to talk about Gareth asshole. But there was no news. Unfortunately, there was no news on the injury front regarding Garnacho and Christian Eriksen, because we hoped that Eriksen would have been back in the April, but again, in the press conference, there was no news about that. Garnacho is still injured, so we don't have anything update. We don't have any update on that. And as far as the injuries and the contracts are concerned, I really want to talk about this, because this is coming from the Athletic and from Erik ten Hag as well, and from the Luke Shaw's agent as well. That Man United have verbally agreed upon the extension of the contract of Luke Shaw. He's been offered a 4-year contract. Right now, he's currently he's on, I think, 150,000 something K. And he has been offered, I think, 200k or maybe more than 200 to 250k wages, and it's gonna be for 4 years. So I think that's gonna make him. If 4-year contract is offered to Luke Shaw, that's gonna make him at least like a player who has been with us for more than a decade. So that's because we signed him when he was a teenager. So I think that's really nice, because I love Luke Shaw. I think he's one of the best left backs in Europe right now. And if not the best, definitely one of the best. And I'm really pleased with his attitude, the way he has been switching roles from centre back to left back, then again left back, then again centre back. When remember when Varane was injured. So I really like that idea, and I really like Luke Shaw. He's been thriving under Erik ten Hag, so that's quite nice. And as he was also asked about the situation about Luke Shaw, because this hasn't been confirmed, it hasn't been official by Manchester United or anyone. So he simply said that he knows about the contract, he knows about the situation, and Matt Murdoch hasn't informed him whether Luke Shaw has signed or not. I'm pretty much sure that he's gonna sign that, because he loves playing for United. We love him for playing for United, and that's quite the deal. And moreover, there was some other news about, he was also asked about the contract situation of Rashford, De Gea and Dalot. I don't think so it was about Dalot, but still Dalot is also running out of contract. So there are some interesting news regarding that also, because De Gea and Rashford, they both have like 1 year left on their contract, and we need them because. And Erik Ten Hag himself said this quite out loud that he loves De Gea, Rashford, and he wants them to sign new contracts. And if that's gonna that sort of shows the level of trust he has in those players. There were many players who there were many fans who were actually chanting for De Gea to leave the club and move on for another pastures, and we need to sign someone new. I don't think so. That's a nice option, because I really believe that right now De Gea is one of the best goalkeepers. He has been a faithful and loyal servant of Manchester United for more than a decade, and he has been a great goalkeeper. You can say whatever you want. There was some couple of games he was literally horrific, and the last season we weren't good. But last season every single player wasn't good. Even Rashford wasn't good. And look at Rashford right now. He's one of the best left wingers. He's one of the best centre forwards of Europe. So you can't just blame one season or a couple of games and blame De Gea for the whole situation of Manchester United. I think I really want De Gea to stay for another couple of years, or maybe 3 years. And as far as Rashford is concerned, I am pretty much confident about it that he's going to sign a new contract, because he loves Erik Ten Hag. He loves playing under him. He loves Manchester United. And I think the only reason he's holding that contract signing a little more, because the news around the new ownership. Because if Qatar buys us, I'm pretty much confident that they're going to offer more in terms of wages to Marcus Rashford, because Marcus Rashford is the player, sort of Erik Ten Hag is trying to build a team around. So I think they're going to offer him more, and that's the only reason Rashford and his camp are actually holding on to that last particular moment when they have some information about the new owner. So I think I'm pretty much okay with that, because I know he'll sign a new contract. And enough about that. There was another question, because Scott McTominay actually played as a striker or a sort of a centre forward for his international team Scotland, and he scored 4 goals. He scored 4 goals, and because of that, it was mentioned that because Manchester United lack centre forward options, and Anthony Martial is quite injured most of the time, and Vegas is not doing that great as a centre forward, will Erik Ten Hag be looking to play Scott McTominay as a centre forward? And he laughed about it, and because he himself said this, I love Scott McTominay, but when I see Scott McTominay, for me he's a midfielder and not a centre forward. And the people who are actually thinking about Scott McTominay being a centre forward, are you fucking nuts? Are you high? Are you like really high? Have you like smoked weed or something? Because I wouldn't take Scott McTominay in the starting 11 of Manchester United in a midfield. If I'm not thinking about taking him in the midfield, why will I think about taking him as a centre forward? I mean, I know he's aggressive. I know he pushes down the line, but that doesn't mean he's gonna be a centre forward. He scored some goals against the international team, but everybody knows international games are fucking idiotic. You can't even expect to a particular player carry that form from international break and then back in the England squad, the club squad. So that was pretty ridiculous, and that is why I said the journalist, the high-paid journalist asking things like that was pretty idiotic. And they also asked him about the possible signing of another striker in the summer, to which he quite beautifully replied that yes, we are actually thinking about that, but we are doing that in the background for the next season, and right now he's just focused on winning single matches and making it possible that everyone who's there in the squad remains fit. And I think that's a beautiful answer, and I think that's the perfect answer that you can give as a manager, because you can't lay out your future plans while you are actually having a great season right now, and you're still in the competition for top 4, you're still in the FA Cup, you're still in Europa League. Your team needs a great morale boost, and you don't want to talk about the future signings, because that's gonna somehow dampen the situation with your own with your own squad, and that's gonna hurt them. Maybe professionally, but somewhat personally, because they are trying to do something good for you. And the way he has been managing team, I'm pretty much very happy about it. Finally, we have a manager who knows how to make, who knows how to actually make man management really good, and that's what I really like about Erik ten Hag, because he knows what he's doing. And again, he was like I said, that idiotic question from some journalist, I don't even remember, was it from Athletic or from someone from Sky. He asked about that Rashford was in New York as his holiday vacation, and is that if player is injured and trying to take a vacation, and is New York the best suitable destination because you won't be physically relaxing over there? To which he like replied that it's not big of a deal, and whatever helps to soothe your mind. I mean, I really don't want to talk about that question right now, because it was he himself said this. He was also asked about the attitude of Rashford, the turnaround of Rashford, to which he replied, and this I love, because I myself am a very big Harry Potter fan. I'm a kind of neurotic Harry Potter fan. You can see in the background the books of the Quidditch and everything. But this is what I loved about it, because he simply said, I'm not Harry Potter. I'm not I'm not a magician. I'm not doing anything magic behind the closed doors. And it's just that it all comes down to the player, his motivation, his commitment, his fucking sheer will. Oh my god, I quite sound like John Wick right now. That commitment, that sheer will. But anyways, again, if you people love John Wick, if you haven't seen John Wick, I've uploaded a review of John Wick on my another channel, the Akshat Stand. Do take a look at it. Like, maybe you may find it a little bit long, but I love that movie. I'm pretty much sure the people who have watched that movie will love that movie and will love my review also. So please go and watch that too. Anyways, on that note, we're gonna wrap this up. It's quite a interesting, exciting weekend, because Newcastle haven't lost more than one game at St. James Park, and they are quite good defensively. We are quite good in breaking defenses, and let's just hope that on Sunday night, after this exhausting and fucking idiotic international break, we really need that win, because it's gonna create a little bit of margin between us and Newcastle United. I'm sorry. And Newcastle have played the same amount of games. They are on 47 right now points. 47 at the points table. If they win against us, they'll be just one place above us, because as far as the goal difference is concerned, they are better than us. They have a better goal difference than us, and that's gonna hurt us really bad. So I really want to win us. It's not gonna be an easy game, because remember, Casemiro is also Casemiro is not available because he saw that red card thing, and that is also quite frustrating for me, because Casemiro is a key player. But anyways, let's move on. Let's hope for the best. Let's hope that Manchester United kicks off this after this international break, kicks off this in Premier League campaign for the last time, because this is the final phase of Premier League. This is the final phase of the season's squad, and we do need every single game. We need that winning mentality. We need that winning habit of winning every single game. I want to see Man United lift another trophy, whether it's Europa League or whether it's FA Cup. I just want another trophy at the end of the season. Let's hope that happens. Let's do it in Cristiano Ronaldo style. Anyways, enough about that. Thank you for tuning in and watching the show. Please guys, support the channel. Subscribe to the channel. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends who are actually Manchester United fan. Until then, please take care of yourself. Tomorrow we'll be doing a match reaction. Let's hope that it's a very good match reaction and we kick ass of Newcastle United. Until then, please take care of yourself. Stay happy, stay fit. Glory, Man United. Bye bye.